That first week, I had earned your first payment, the first week. And then I'm like, done. Okay, this guy absolutely knows what he's talking about. I was sold. We were just going where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a thing. This is really working. And like, I'm paying the bills with this, only with this.
Before you hired me to be your coach and help you build everything, what was the problem that you had?
Well, I had a new product and I was having a hard time getting clients because it was very new to the legal. My clients are attorneys. It's very new to the legal profession. And people were scared. I was scared. And I was really undervaluing myself. I knew that my main avenue to get clients was Facebook. I am horrible at technology, as you can attest to. And I knew that I needed a funnel. I had tried it on my own. I had tried it with my son, who is more tech savvy, and it was a nightmare. I mean, it was an absolute nightmare. I knew I needed help. So I put out in my network, who knows anything about Facebook advertising, and got your name.
Awesome. Okay. So what actually made you pick me over all the other Facebook ads, all the other legal marketing experts out there?
I knew enough about the tech world to know that I could not evaluate whether somebody knew what they were doing or not. Actually, now that I'm thinking, I had hired somebody to do a funnel and they had charged me $200, which I knew was wrong. Like, I knew, like, there's no way. And I don't even think they did anything. So I knew enough to know I don't know how to evaluate people. So when I got your name and it was, he knows what he's talking about, I contacted you and you immediately responded. Like, you, not somebody from your team, you did. And that conversation with you built trust. And I'm a pretty big stickler about, I mean, I've been a litigator for over 2 decades. I think I'm a pretty good BS smeller. And I don't want to be sold to, I'm the typical attorney. I don't want to be sold to. I think I can smell when somebody is just giving me bells and whistles versus somebody who's actually going to give me know what they're doing. So I didn't get any. You passed the smell test, for lack of a better term.
Perfect. So after I passed the smell test, what did we actually what did I do for you? What did my team do for you?
The first thing that you did, even before we started on the funnel, was you looked at where I was, what I was doing. You gave me like just some one-liners. Here, do this, do this. And I had just doing the quick little jabs. That first week, I had earned your first payment, the first week. And then I'm like, done. Okay, this guy absolutely knows what he's talking about. I was sold. And then we started working on the funnel.
Awesome. How's the funnel been working out for you?
I really thought that, like, I don't want to say I didn't think it would work, but I was really like, oh, who would ever, if I was selling a, $100 item, maybe, but who is really going to just see this ad, especially when people now know about what funnels are, and book a call with me? But they did. They have. And it's been helpful because then it shows me who's really ready to work with me and who's a tire kicker. And I don't have time for tire kickers.
So as a result of everything that we've done, what have been the results for you?
Well, I had gone from, it had been about 7 months that I had started. And the other thing is we immediately increased the price of my service, like dramatically, like to where I wanted to vomit. And I was like, there's no way. This guy's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. There's no way. And people didn't balk, which is funny because this is part of my business, is teaching this. Mm-hmm. And so it was very good to have you ahead, that you've done this. And I don't know how many times I've thought in the last year, a little over a year, Andy did it, I can do it. Andy did it, I can do it. But I became financially, this is a new product, a new business. And I got clients with this new income right away with the price increase. And we're just going where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a thing. This is really working. And like, I'm paying the bills with this, only with this. And then COVID hit and, just screeched to a halt for a little bit because, everybody was freaking out, thinking the world was going to end. And then it kept going. But I've had essentially a new business, and it has been completely financially self-sufficient since working with you, which for a brand new business targeting attorneys, I'm pretty happy with that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, how has this impacted your life? What is this new business? What is this new knowledge? Everything that you've kind of done up to this point, and I've helped you with. How is that impacting you outside of just making money?
It has really helped me reevaluate what my value is, what I'm bringing to the table. It has caused me to be a lot more self-honest with myself of asking myself, is that true? When I have a limiting, people will never pay that. Is that true? No, it's not. And having to look at other people and go, well, why are they able to do this? I'm just as smart as they are. So it's caused me to have to reshift and rethink of some old thinking habits that had not been serving me, which then of course translates into every other aspect of your life. It's not about the money. The money's great, but it's not about the money. It's the internal shifts that go on when you start really understanding your value and being okay with being compensated for that.
Do you feel a sense of relief that you kind of have an understanding of now how to do this? Because the next time will be easy. Like you did it one time, so now you can do it again, and you've already been shown the ropes, so it'll be a lot faster and a lot easier to do it again. Does that give you any sense of relief that kind of you can be in control of your own destiny, so to speak, rather than relying
Absolutely.
on other people?
Absolutely. Because I had done other marketing programs and other coaching throughout my practice. And it was always like, yeah, whatever. You can make whatever money you want to make. Okay. It was nonsense. And now I feel like, no, actually, I can use these skills to sell anything. I mean, and you translate, like I've thought, I never want to practice family law ever again in my life. But sometimes I'll think like, if I did, I would do this differently. This is what I would do differently.
Mhm.
This is how I would communicate with a prospective client differently. I'm getting that now. So it does give a sense of relief that you're not, because, attorneys, we have this, we either do things the way we're doing it now or we're working at Starbucks. Those are our two options. And it's not, it's not at all. And once you learn these skills and really learn what your clients actually want and what they're actually paying for, it changes the ballgame.
So you said that everything slowed down a little bit during COVID, but were you able to rebound financially in COVID and end up with having a decent year despite COVID?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Not only did it rebound, I mean, it slowed down, but there was never a month that it was just, bone dry at all. But we were still going. We were still having income every month. It just wasn't at that pre-COVID level, but I mean, it kept going.
Is there anything else that you want to say about working with myself, working with my team, the program, anything like that?
I've seen a lot of other coaches and a lot of other, there's now a large amount of different programs for attorneys, which certainly wasn't the case when I was a young attorney. There was nothing. There was, Jay Thunberg's book, and that was it. And sometimes it's hard to know who to trust, who not to trust, and who's just about you making more money, you making more money. And while that is kind of, the hook with you, it's not about the money. It's about learning a new skill. It's about learning what the client is actually looking for and what is valuable to them. It's learning a whole new skill. So,
and what's funny is when you do that, the money comes even more because you're actually tailoring it to what people actually want instead of just focus. When you focus on just money, it usually doesn't work as well as when you focus on other things and then money comes.
absolutely. Absolutely. And so, I understand other people's hooks and, money's a big one, but quite frankly, in my experience, that's not what people that's not the most important thing to people. It's really not. It's quality of life. It's having a practice that works for them, not overworking. It's not just, oh, I can make more money with this guy.
Mhm.
And that I think you teach, and you teach the value of yourself as well. So
Cool. What would you say to anybody that's maybe on the fence about joining the program?
I would say, how do you want to play? How do you want to practice? Because there are a lot of attorneys out there who are very afraid to invest in themselves, which is funny given what we paid for law school. Like we had no problem hundreds of thousands of dollars for that. You get what you pay for, and your time is the most valuable asset you have. And what I see attorneys doing is trying to go on the cheap and spending years and years to try and get somewhere and really never actually getting there, versus just biting the bullet and saying, I don't want to spend this money, but it's just part of the gig. And if I want to get to this level, it's just part of the deal. So I'm going to bite the bullet and do it. And I would say I got my money back very quickly. And it changes the trajectory of everything going forward. So it's not even just about getting a return on your investment. This is how entrepreneurs who are successful, however you define that, I have a lot of friends in some high places. They all spend a crap ton of money every year on coaching or on experts. It's just how it's done if you want to play at that level.